They thought I just knit in the corner, smile quietly, fade out like an old photograph no one frames anymore. I was sitting at my kitchen table when I realized it. My old phone sat there, face up, screen dark. It hadn't buzzed in months. No missed calls. No texts. Not even one of those accidental butt dials my daughter used to make. I thought maybe she was just busy. Maybe the baby was making her tired. But when I tried to call again, it rang once and went dead. Blocked. Not by mistake. Number. This wasn't a glitch. This was on purpose. I found out about the baby shower from the neighbor's granddaughter. She's sweet. Too young to understand what she was revealing when she said, "Your daughter's shower sounds so pretty, pink roses and all." I smiled and nodded like I already knew. Said something polite. Then I excused myself and went inside. I looked it up. Registry was easy to find. Her full name, her fiancé's, cute little header with pastel elephants. My name wasn't there. Not in the list of thank yous. Not even under hosted by. There was no mistake. I didn't cry, didn't call. Just took a quiet breath and reached into the drawer beside the fridge. Pulled out a folder I'd kept for months. Manila, worn at the edges. Paperwork already sorted. I slid it onto the table, opened it like an old habit. They thought I was forgotten. I'd just been preparing. She was born in winter. A hard winter, the kind that seeps into the corners of old windows and doesn't leave, even when you pile blankets against the cold. We didn't have much, but my arms were warm. I remember holding her tight to my chest, 2 coats between us, and still feeling like I'd never be cold again. She was so small, so loud. Her cry filled the whole house, and yet it made me feel less alone. I sang to her at night, even when my lips were cracked and my throat dry, even when the cupboards were nearly bare and I wasn't sure how we'd stretch the next dollar. I rocked her while soup simmered, while laundry spun, while grief sat quietly in the corners of the room, unspoken but thick in the air. I held her while mourning things I didn't have time to name. She was always on my hip, in my lap, in my mind. I wore her like a second heart. I gave up things. Little things first. A class I loved. Then a job that didn't understand sick days with toddlers. I gave up bigger things. 2 vacations, friendships, years of sleep. But I didn't call it sacrifice. I called it mothering. It felt natural. Like breathing with one lung because the other was holding your child. When she got older, I worked overtime to help her through school. College wasn't cheap, but I made it work. I cut corners, clipped coupons, skipped my own birthday more than once. I helped set up her first apartment, brought over boxes, groceries, toilet paper, even though she insisted she was fine. I left money tucked between her couch cushions when she wasn't looking. I just wanted her to have what I didn't. I never expected diamonds. Just a phone call on holidays. A photo now and then. A text that said, "Love you, Mom." I would have settled for scraps. I was trained to be grateful for crumbs. I gave. I listened. I waited. I forgave. Even when she was distant. Even when she forgot to call. I made excuses for her. She's tired. She's busy. She'll come around. I sat through missed dinners. Through Christmases that came and went without her voice. I still sent cards. Still signed them, "With love, always." I gave. I listened. I waited. I forgave. I was there when she failed her driving test. When her heart broke over that boy in 11th grade. When she thought she wasn't smart enough, pretty enough, strong enough. I was the one holding her in the bathroom at midnight while she sobbed into my sweater. I was the one who told her she was more than enough, that she was worth everything. And now, to be blocked, shut out, replaced by strangers at a baby shower I was never invited to. It wasn't just painful. It was unreal. Like being erased by the very person you carved your life around. I held her tighter than anyone ever held me, and she let me go without a word. She loved me, until someone else was watching. It started small. "Mom, can you not post baby pictures?" she said one afternoon, voice tight like she was holding back more than just those words. I took the photos down, didn't ask why. Thought maybe it was a privacy thing. Maybe the father didn't like it. I didn't want to embarrass her. I just wanted to be included. I told myself it wasn't personal. Then came the new friends. New people at her side, shiny, curated, smiling in every photo. The in-laws with polished teeth and polite tones. Dinners I wasn't invited to. Baby bump photos with long captions thanking family for their support, and my name not even hinted at. I clicked like anyway. I always did. After that, it shifted. I noticed her tone change. Gentle corrections that felt more like erasures. Mom, maybe don't say that in front of people. Let's not bring that up. It's not like it was that hard raising me. Comments like that, always said with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I tried to stay small, tried not to take up too much space. But I could feel it. I was becoming too much, too opinionated, too available, too there. Calls got shorter, replies less frequent. Sometimes I'd text her something sweet, a memory, a recipe, a photo from when she was little. Most of the time, it was left unread. The silence grew louder every week. Holidays started going to his side. Birthdays got missed. She'd tag everyone in her posts, cousins, friends, his family, but not me. I scrolled through comments, hoping to see even one word that made me feel like I still belonged. Nothing. Mutual friends began acting strange. One of them said something offhand. Well, she says you're a little intense, emotional. Another told me, she just needs space. She says you try to control things. That one stuck, because I've spent my whole life giving her freedom. All I ever tried to control was how much pain landed at her feet. I called her after that, left a voicemail, apologized for anything and everything. I cried after I hung up. Not loud, just quiet tears that soaked into the dish towel I was holding. I still don't know what I was apologizing for. Just felt like maybe if I said it enough, she'd come back. Then I sent a gift. Just a little onesie. White cotton with tiny yellow ducks. I picked it out at the pharmacy while picking up my arthritis pills. Wrapped it nice. Simple. A soft note, handwritten. For the little one. Love, Mom. I checked the tracking until it said delivered. The next morning, I picked up my phone and saw it. This user has blocked you. No warning. No conversation. Just a wall. And I realized she didn't need me quiet. She needed me gone. She took my name off the birth plan. It was more than being blocked. I was removed. Erased. I found out through someone else. Always someone else these days. A friend of a friend mentioned the hospital details in passing. Like I already knew. I didn't. I hadn't heard anything. No update. No message. Just silence. I called the hospital. Just to ask. Just to see if maybe there was a list. Maybe my name was still there somewhere. A note. An emergency contact. Anything. The woman on the line was polite. Said, sorry, only listed individuals can receive updates. I gave my name anyway. She checked. Came back quiet. You're not on the file, ma'am. It was like being slapped with a paper cut. Clean, small, but deep enough to sting for days. I tried to reach out through others. Sent a note with a neighbor. Called my sister. Even though we hadn't spoken in months, everyone closed the door gently. Everyone said, it's not my place. Phone stayed silent. Messages unread. A baby was coming. My grandchild. My own blood. And I wasn't just forgotten, I wasn't allowed. She made it clear. From the doctor's list to the hospital access, I had been cut clean out. Like a guest who overstayed. Like I was never part of the beginning. She gave my name to college admissions, to rental agreements, to summer camp permission slips. But now the moment when legacy continues, she stripped it out like it never mattered. I asked myself, again and again, what did I do? But there's no real answer. Not one that makes sense. Maybe I loved too hard. Maybe I showed up too much. Maybe she wanted a new version of herself, and I didn't fit the picture. I found out later that she'd signed papers. Real ones. Legal ones. Stating that no decisions were to involve me. That I wasn't to be contacted. Even in case of emergency. My daughter, the baby I once rocked through croup and colic. The one I carried through blizzards and breakups had put it in writing. Do not notify my mother. She erased me with the swipe of her thumb, like a stranger on the internet. I used to be the first name on every form. Now, I wasn't even an option. I sat in my bedroom that night, lights off, television on low, a soft show playing one of those hospital dramas. A woman was giving birth. Her mother stood beside her, holding her hand, crying, laughing, loving. I reached out and turned the screen off. She gave life to a child and took mine out of the picture. She was expecting silence. I was writing things down. It started at the library, our little branch on the edge of town, the one with the creaky front step and the kind librarian who still remembers my name. I sat at one of the desktop computers, took my time logging in, clicked each key with care. My hands aren't what they used to be, but they still know how to work. I began gathering messages, emails, letters never answered, the return address on that baby gift, still sealed in my memory, screenshots, where I could find them, notes I'd written to myself over the past few months, dates, phrases, silence. You'd be surprised how much silence says once you start writing it down. Then I started researching. Grandparent rights, access laws, visitation. I wasn't trying to stir trouble. I was trying to understand where I stood. I opened every article slowly, took notes, scribbled in the margins of printouts, cross-referenced, called hotlines, listened twice when they spoke. I filled a folder, same kind I used to keep her school records in. It started off thin, then it grew thick, like the years I gave, stacking one behind the other. A week later, I walked into the legal aid office downtown. Small place, quiet. I wore my Sunday shoes. Saturday, up straight. I was polite, clear, calm. That's how I've always gotten people to listen, not with shouting, but with steadiness. They paired me with a young woman, brown sweater, soft voice. She read through my notes, page by page. Didn't rush me, didn't talk down. When she looked up, her eyes weren't full of pity, they were full of recognition. Like she'd seen this before. Like she understood. I told her I wasn't trying to take over. I wasn't trying to storm into the hospital or snatch a baby from someone's arms. I just wanted a seat at the table I helped build. I just wanted to be heard before the door closed completely. She nodded, said, "Let's start with your rights." And so we did. Back at home, I practiced breathing. Counted to 4 in, 4 out. Kept a calm voice. Even when I read things that made my ribs tighten, I didn't let myself spiral. Just focused. Wrote every date in the margins. Time, place, who said what. I made it all clear. Because I knew I didn't need to raise my voice. I just needed to tell the truth. They thought I was fading. But I was collecting facts. She expected tears. I brought affidavits. I wore my old coat and walked in anyway. I heard about the baby shower through the grapevine. Not from her. Not from anyone close. It was a whisper, a neighbor's niece mentioning a party with pink balloons and tiny sandwiches. My name wasn't on the invite. Not even a courtesy call. But I knew the time, the place, the theme. I sat at my kitchen table for a long while that morning. The air was still. My hands wrapped around a cold mug of coffee I'd forgotten to drink. I stared at the silence in my phone, like it might suddenly buzz and tell me it was all a mistake, that she hadn't meant to leave me out, that someone just forgot to hit send. But the truth sat heavy on the counter. She hadn't forgotten me. She'd excluded me. I thought about staying home, about saving myself the trouble, the stares, the shame. I nearly let myself believe I wasn't strong enough to walk into a room full of people who had replaced me in my own story. But then I remembered every birthday cake I'd ever bought. All 18 of them. The late-night frosting, the candles I relit when they blew out too fast, the songs I sang even when she rolled her eyes as a teenager. I remembered every scraped knee I bandaged, every college paper I proofread, every rent check I quietly helped cover. And I stood up, called my lawyer. She met me in the driveway, didn't say much, just gave me a nod. We rode together in silence. My coat felt too warm, my palms cold. In the parking lot, I sat for a minute, watched women carrying in wrapped gifts and diaper cakes. I looked down at my hands, trembling, but not weak, just full of everything I never said. When I walked in, heads turned, conversations paused. The kind of silence that feels like air being sucked out of a room. I didn't rush. I didn't flinch. I walked with my back straight and my bag tucked under my arm. Then I saw her, my daughter. Her face drained of color the moment she spotted me. She looked like a child again, caught, cornered, but I didn't raise my voice. Didn't ask why. I simply walked over, reached into my bag, and handed her an envelope. "Just read it when you can," I said, my voice steady, kind. Inside were the papers. A petition. For visitation. For acknowledgement. For truth. Not for revenge. Not to humiliate. Just to take the next step towards something real. She didn't say anything. No one did. I nodded, then turned and walked back out. The room stayed frozen behind me. It wasn't a scene. It was a statement. I didn't raise my voice. I raised my standards. Court took time. Nothing fast about it. Letters were exchanged. Documents filed. Deadlines passed and circled back again. I learned to check my mailbox with a mix of dread and resolve. Some days, it was silence. Others, it was another packet of paper, thick with arguments and cold formalities. Her side tried to brush it off. "She's just bitter." I read once, typed right there in black and white. Like I hadn't fed that bitterness with birthday dinners and bailouts, and all the times I swallowed my pride for peace. Like all those holidays I spent alone were tantrums, not grief. But I had done my work. Every photo, every card I'd sent, every ignored message, every hospital record that left my name off. It was there documented, dated, and laid out. I wasn't making a scene. I was making a case. When the day finally came, I wore navy. Not black, not mourning. Navy for clarity. I sat straight in that courtroom. No tears, no trembling. The judge asked simple questions. I answered simply, clearly, honestly. Did I want to be part of the child's life? Yes. Had I tried other ways? Many. Did I love my daughter? More than words can hold. I didn't speak badly about her. I didn't need to. The papers spoke loud enough. In the end, I was granted partial visitation. Supervised, scheduled, limited. Yes. But real. Legal. Mine. It wasn't victory. It wasn't punishment. It was acknowledgement. That I wasn't just some woman on the porch waiting for a phone call that would never come. I left court with the ruling in one hand. The official stamp still fresh. The signature slightly crooked. And in my purse, folded between tissues and a stick of gum, was an old photo of my daughter. 6 years old. Missing teeth. Face sticky with cake. She had no idea then how hard the world could be. No idea how deeply she was loved. I didn't want revenge. I wanted a seat at the table I built. Here is Section 8. The closure, I still bake. But I don't wait by the door. Complete with the full approximately 850 words. Fully aligned with the Granny's Truths format, tone, and emotional arc. Underscore, 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 underscore. But I don't wait by the door. Once a week I visit. The schedule is clear. Same day, same time. I show up with cookies wrapped in wax paper, or a small toy I found at the dollar store that reminded me of something sweet. I knock gently, and someone opens. Sometimes it's her, sometimes it's someone else. Either way, I walk in with a smile and my hands full of quiet love. The baby, my grandchild, is beautiful. Round cheeks. Curious eyes. That soft way babies look at you, like they're deciding if you're safe. I move slowly. Let them decide. I never reach too fast. I just sit nearby and let them come to me. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Either way, I stay gentle. My daughter doesn't say much. A nod here. A glance there. She stays in the other room or fusses with dishes in the kitchen. I don't press. I don't pry. That door's not open yet. and I've learned not to knock on ones that need time. I simply greet her the same way each visit, with calm, with respect. And then I turn my attention to what matters now. I read books. Slowly, I traced the illustrations with my finger like I used to when she was small. I let the child turn the pages, even when it's out of order. We laugh when we land on the wrong ending. That laughter is real. That's what I carry home with me. When the visit ends, I walk myself out. No lingering. No, are you sure? No, asking for extra minutes. I gather my things, kiss the air, and close the door behind me. I don't check my phone after. I don't wait for a thank you. I don't expect pictures or texts. What I came for is already in my chest, the sound of a giggle, the warm grip of a tiny hand. Neighbors ask me now and then, are things better? I just smile. Better than what? No. We're not having Sunday dinners. No, I'm not back on the Christmas list. But better? Yes. In the way that rain is better than drought. That something is better than the nothing I held for so long. I still bake. I still plant roses. I still sing while I mop the kitchen floor. But I don't pace the hallway anymore. Don't sit near the phone like it's a lifeline. I gave her my voice for decades. Now I keep some of it for myself. Legacy isn't loud, it's patient. It's showing up on time with warm cookies and a quiet smile. It's answering questions from a little one about why the moon follows us home. It's being remembered slowly, not for what you demanded, but for what you gave without asking anything back. She may never thank me, but one day, her child might. One day, that child might ask, who's the lady who reads me the book with the duck? And maybe, just maybe, someone will say, that's your grandmother. And maybe that will be enough. They blocked me out. I stepped back in with truth in my hands.